Welcome back to Strange Friends, where I continually traumatize my friends and get letters from them later telling me just how expensive therapy is going to be. When we last left off, the party was deep in the bowels of a dungeon, chasing down some sort of shard. In the progress of getting to said shard, they trapped themselves in a room with no doors. No ways to open said doors, and managed to encounter the captain of the King's Guard, who has gone a little bit crazy. But however, he is comfortably resting unconscious in the other room. And I believe when we last left off, Brodok, you were approaching a shard that was in front of you.
Grab it.
Okay, I need a DC 15 Wisdom save from yourself,
Easy.
Bjorno, and Bimgog.
Nat 20. Nat 20.
Would you like me to roll?
Yes.
A wisdom save?
Yep. Okay.
That's the way to open the game.
Did it come through?
Yes.
Okay.
Brodok, you're holding this, and you feel Bjorno in your mind. You feel his spirit and his essence, and you feel like you could just pull it and take it if you so desired.
I don't want to do that. Okay. I like Bjorno.
Bjorno, you feel like you see this wave of energy radiate out from the shard. And you feel you're looking at your body, and you feel almost as if like there's the sensation that you're disconnected from it for just a moment. For your specific understanding, it's akin to the astral projection in those famous movies about people who avenge people. And then Brodok looks at you, and then you feel yourself sink back into control.
Okay. Well, that was disconcerting.
I could have eaten you.
Thank you for not doing that.
I had a berry earlier, so I'm full.
But
I got thing. I think we look for this.
Victory condition achieved. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Bjorno, I actually need you to roll a wisdom check.
Oh God. How about insight? I have advantage and I'm trained in? Okay.
Insight. This is not what you came down here for.
That's what I'm going to mention. We did not come for this item.
Oh.
Go get the men and bring them back.
Yeah, we gotta get everybody back.
So probably with whoever put
this
the
was just
in
like
cages.
The bonus mission.
That is a good point, Brodok. Because I mean, they were in cages, which kind of indicates somebody put them there.
We did not explore the path to the north.
Drakes just don't go in cages, just like people. Trespin taught me that. You have to put them in there.
I'm going to investigate a little bit in here, Dave. Tell me if I find anything cool.
Sure. Give me an investigation roll.
I'm going to put the shard into my pouch on my belt.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to put it there. Mark down a soul shard.
Got it.
Let's see. The only thing that you really notice about this room is it is eerily quiet, uncomfortably quiet. It's almost as if even an empty room like the one you guys were trapped in might not have a loud ambience, but it still is there.
Things
Here
are
it's
muffled.
things are muffled, but in here it's like when you step outside on a snowy day and all of the sound is dampened and you hear nothing. Almost reminds you of home.
I'm going to share that with the group.
Are there any, like, I don't know, obvious, like, arcana or, like, ritualistic stuff, or, like, anything that I can get a sense of, like, why this place was built to begin with?
A little bit. So as you're going around, you notice, like, you specifically notice, based on what you know from being the keeper of stories, as well as the innate bond you have with fire, that you see little figures moving and dancing in the fire. Not in the sense that there is something alive in it, but that the story itself is kept in the flame. And as you watch the ways that the figures move, you notice that there's always a central figure that holds one shard up, and that all of the figures will around it will pull into the shard. And then on the other side of the room, you notice that there is a similar figure holding the shard up, and you notice that a larger figure comes out of the base of the fire to consume the shard, and then the fire essentially flattens out and the story repeats itself.
Okay, so the shard definitely does something.
Yeah, it was going to let me eat Bjorno.
Should we muffle it a little bit more? Maybe wrap it in some blankets so it's not accidentally touched? I mean, in a pocket is good, but if you put your hand in that pocket, it could happen again.
I mean,
yeah, what do you mean when you say it was going to let you eat Bjorno?
I felt like I could. It's like when you're catching someone on the road and you lasso them with a rope and you pull them towards you so you can eat them. That way they don't run away really easily down the road. I'm fast.
I think it has like compelling properties to it.
I agree with Hildy here. Let's wrap it. And also, can I make a general request that shard never goes into a bag of holding? Just a general request.
That is fine. Hildy will go over with a blanket and may I pull it out, Broduck?
Oh, I can get it. And I reach in my pocket
no,
and pull it out.
Broduck, no, Broduck.
No, Broduck.
May I use my blanket?
You don't feel the same, and you all watch this, you don't see the same energy wave come out from it. Alex, you're watching all this happen, and it naturally occurs to you that what it could be is that an artifact or an item like this, I say artifact in the historical sense, not the magical sense, probably collects up energy over time, and once it reaches a certain point, if you touch it, it's just going to do what it does. Otherwise, normally it would need to be focused on and activated like a normal magical item.
I drop in the blanket.
I will relay that to the party.
At least still folds and rolls it, swaddles that sucker up.
Yeah, I mean, especially until we know some sort of timeline of when it's safe versus not safe to touch. Let's just do the not touch, you know?
Right, so how are we gonna get all these crazy people back to the surface?
Well, they are subdued now and tied up. We would have to carry them out and take them to somebody who could take care of them. If they are tied, they can only do so much.
I am not very concerned.
So are we gonna stay and?
You could probably just tie them all up. Basically, they're in a bit of a stupor at this point as you look back out there. The guard captain's the only one who's cognizant at all, and even he is just kind of like died down in fervor since you touched the stone.
So he should be unconscious. I knocked him unconscious.
Yeah, he's just kind of like, he's not unconscious anymore at this point. He's definitely like stunned and laid against the ground.
The fight's out of him.
Yeah, exactly. If he was still unconscious, he would have major brain damage.
I mean, that's what I was going for. But I walk back to the other room.
Okay.
I will follow behind.
He's laying down against the wall.
You say that the other three are tied up. Is he also tied up?
The other three are in the cages, but the crazed look is out of their eyes. They just look exhausted.
Or are they tied up?
No, they're currently caged, but you could easily tie them up and they would follow along in a line.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll start tying up their wrists.
It is for their own safety, so that they do not hurt us or themselves.
When you open the door, they kind of put their hands out. You tie them up into a chain or into a line.
Broduk looks very practiced in this, tying up humanoids and leading them around by a rope as he starts walking them back towards the main room.
Everybody is vaguely uncomfortable from this. I'm not going to have their minis followed. They're all going to be represented by the captain.
That's fine.
As we go back to this place, I'm going to keep my eye out for anything. I don't know, like any signs of anybody else down here or any other signs of just like, more information about this place.
Nothing that
we went through kind of fast.
Nothing that stands out to you any different from what you'd seen before. The only real signs of anything were the voices you heard in the earlier room, and the footsteps that you finally noticed back towards where you found the guard captain. And the only place you guys really have left to look is up here to the north.
Well, let us go to the north.
Maybe we should set them away just in case it's dangerous.
Just drop them off in that big room.
Oh, we can't go to the big room, but we will go to the room we were trapped in. Yeah.
Is there a tie-off point somewhere? Okay.
No, but at the end of the day, again, they're, they look like people who have just had all of the fight drained out of them. They've probably been awake for a couple of days.
How heavy is that barrel that's next to me?
It's not. It's empty. And that's a chest that you guys destroyed, actually.
You want them not move, Serenia?
No, not like that. Not like that. I would just, if there's like a big rock we can put on the end of the rope.
I will subdue them if it is necessary. Do not worry about our companions.
Can we subdue them comfortably?
Yes.
They are comfortably subdued now.
Yeah, we can. And then Alex starts passing out bottles of alcohol to all of them.
Let them have a good nap.
Look, you guys all need a drink after what you've been through. Just take it all, sleep it off. We'll be back in a bit.
They are currently subdued would be the best way to describe their behavior. Again, they have been up for the last couple of days from what you can gather, being driven crazy by a gem that has been that is now in Broduk's pocket.
Oh, Hildy's backpack.
Or Hildy's backpack.
Oh, yeah.
You want to go back to other door?
Yes, let's go check out more.
Okay.
Up here.
I need your guys' marching order. So put yourselves in the order that you're going to be in.
Wherever. Be like right behind Bimgog. Wherever he's standing.
I don't have Broduk.
Broduk's all the way up front.
Ah, I see.
Be here now.
Broduk, stay with the group. We
Broduk
all hold
decided
hands. We are on a trip, and
My
we
leg's
have
so
our
long.
travel buddy. We have our travel buddy. Who is your travel buddy, Broduk?
Wait, no, put me in the middle. I don't
My
want to be at
brother.
the end.
I'll be. Bjorno is your travel buddy. Remember, hands, clap hands, touch hands. Travel buddy, don't lose your travel buddy.
Okay,
Reach
who
behind me
is,
and put an arm.
Bimgog, I think this means you're my travel buddy.
Alright,
Who
we
is-
got this.
Who is shaping the door?
Oh,
No.
shit.
Hildy is in front to shape the door.
Okay, you can move to the front, shape the
Wait,
door,
switch-
and then move
Yes.
to the back, and the party will tactically return to its marching order.
We're real good at tactics.
Great axe, and I walk through.
There you go.
Okay. Oops.
Safe.
You
Oh,
guys
really? What is that?
see what you see over there, and there is a shimmering shimmering wall, magical wall of some sort that is mostly transparent right there. Before you is a large spiked creature.
What that?
Is it aggressive?
Is it moving
he's-
towards us?
Yes.
I rush it.
Oh.
It's moving towards me. This
Broduk,
place is full.
You have lost your travel buddy.
Broduk and
Oh.
I look at each other and nod and rush together.
Okay, you guys are sprinting straight forward.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Of course.
Oh.
Oh, you guys are really doing it. You guys charge forward and you smash face first into this transparent magical force. You will each take your strength modifier and damage.
Does it
I'm gonna
buckle at all?
It does not.
armor master.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Ugh.
The creature smiles. Gozog smart. You are dumb.
Hi,
Why
Kozak.
are you here?
Hello, Gozark. We are here because we were looking for the Queen's captain of the guards. We are confused by this place. What are you doing here?
You found my latest toys.
Oh, that
Now
is
I
no-
will make toys out of you.
Well, that is no good. Why would
Lord.
you do that?
Lower the wall. We will play with you.
Okay. The wall comes down, and you watch some magical energy shoot out from his hand, and I will need initiative from everyone.
Initiative.
Okay, I need a mouse. That's what I need.
I was so
Looks
close to
like-
an 18.
Were you?
Oh, I thought I'd be the last one in line.
We did not roll impressively, that is true.
It's fine. We need to know what they're up to before we rush in. You know.
I don't know.
I know
I
you
just
don't
want to
know.
point out that this is not a dragon.
Yes.
I feel lied to and a little betrayed.
It
I
can
think
have
I'm just gonna
dragon
sit this
parts.
one out while I get my thoughts back together, you guys.
If we
This is-
kill it, we don't level, and that's unfortunate.
And I need a wisdom save, I believe. Let me double check. Wisdom save from Bjorno, Broduk, Hildy, and Bimgog. Yeah, you guys are really good at these wisdom saves, except for Broduk.
When half your saves are -1, you don't do that great on them.
Yeah.
Every stat other than strength, con is dope stat.
Broduk and Bimgog, as the wall comes down and this orb of magical energy goes flying at you all, it explodes around you, and you are overcome with a feeling of confusion.
Oh, okay, that's better than fear.
Bimgog, when he gets hit, immediately he starts acting like he's in a daze for a second, and then he shakes his head, and you notice the eyes in his mask glow for a second, and he just gets a steely gaze directly at the creature at the other side of the room.
You're using your legendary resistance then.
Correct.
All right. So Broduk, you feel
Leave me all alone here, bro.
Bimgog, it's your turn.
Bimgog, with his steely gaze towards this being that literally just told us that he's the one who took them, has decided that it's time to start shooting. So we are just where we're at. We're just going to shoot from there because I want to stay close to Serenia.
Okay.
Boop, boop. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? I apparently shoot all over the place, but just not.
Your mask falls down over your eyes, but you're already in the process of firing.
How?
And actually, yeah.
I'm amazed.
Oh, you were sharpshooting. That's why.
Yeah, it's still a +4, but those rolls.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 4, 3, 3, 5.
Broduk, you feel a bolt whiz against your fur. Bjorno, you hear one or two clank off at an awkward angle, and you guys watch one go over the creature's head.
Sorry, guys, I've got to adjust my mask. I'm having trouble seeing.
Bjorno.
Well, I'm going to go and double move and attempt to adjust this thing's face.
Okay.
15, 20, 25, 30. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to double move. I'm going to get huge.
Okay.
As my bonus action. And I am going to chuck a hammer. Or a hand axe.
Okay. That will hit.
Stand by just a second, please. Where is it?
You broke both of them, didn't you?
No.
You should be able to click on the word hand axe and it should roll.
No, I'm supposed to get it. I don't know where my extra class features. There it is. And second wind, action surge, rune carver, stone. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. So a total of 11 damage.
It definitely knocks one of the small spikes off of his shoulder, and he looks at you, and his eyes begin glowing as he releases an incredibly loud howl, and you all hear a quite disturbing noise behind you. As Serenia and Alex, when you look behind, a portal, a rift has appeared behind you, and another one of these creatures walks out of it. And then he is going to step forward.
Dave, help. I accidentally drew on the map.
was very concerned for what was appearing, and
I thought it was like spitting black acid at you. Or something.
and all I thought was, I'm your accountability buddy, and I'm really concerned for what's happening.
I'm like, where is it? Where's the thing? There we go. Perfect. Thanks.
Bjorner, does a 25 hit you?
Oh, yes.
Okay, you will
Just
The
take
12 and the 15 won't, though.
17.
What kind of damage?
It is bludgeoning.
Okay. Armor Master, so it's only going to do 14.
Okay. That's fine.
That's going to eat the rest of my temp hit points from Dude Face.
Moment. Broduk, roll me a 1d10.
Let's see what I will do today. A 5.
You are going to take no action.
God damn it, this is worse than fear.
It's so much worse than fear.
Serenia.
Hey, Dave, quick question. Can you clarify,
Yes.
because that mini is a little difficult, is he within 10 or 15 feet of me?
He is within 5 feet of, 10 feet of you.
Okay, so before I go, when he appears, Halo of Spores will pop,
Okay.
just very poorly. So, con 16.
Okay, one moment. He's fine.
Yes. Okay, now he's here.
What would you like to do?
Thinking about it. All right, I will bonus action cast Shillelagh and step up and slap a bitch.
Okay.
So.
It's also the first time I've ever seen a demon successfully summon another demon in 20 plus years of playing D&D.
Hey, it'll happen.
Hey, Dave,
Has
real
to happen
fast.
eventually. Yeah.
Do I get a will save at the end of my round to fight confusion?
One moment.
I didn't know if it was a
You get
monster
another
ability
wi-
or like
you
a
get
spell.
another wisdom save, yes. Serenia, that will hit.
All right, that's all I got, Dave.
Yep. He definitely like brings his claw up to block it, but you get him right on the arm and definitely seems to shillelagh him. Hildy.
All right. Hildy will. So Bjorno is still within 30 feet, correct? 5, 10. Yeah, I forgot to measure. Yeah.
It's gonna be close.
Yeah.
You'd have to move at least 5 feet.
Okay. Well, I'll move right there. Hildy is going to channel divinity and cast emboldening bond. I'll just copy and paste
Please do.
that. And I am going to select, of course, Bjorno. And it's still been super quick, and I don't really, well, he's a brute, and I would trust him being a brute. So I would also do Broduk.
Mhm.
And just because I want to cover a weaker individual in my emboldening bond, because that is a whole bunch of covering, I am going to do Alex also in the emboldening bond.
Okay. You all are emboldened. You can add a
D4 on a
you can add a
yeah.
D4 to those rolls.
This is good.
Alex.
And also because of
It's a
that,
saving throw.
I'm
selecting.
going to add this just because it is part of Emboldened Bond. It was a next level thing. There is this also involved in it, is Protective Bond. That just goes along with it. It's not an additional action per se.
Yep. This is important to know, guys. Keep that in mind. Alex, it's your turn. You're muted.
I am. Okay. I'm going to step back over here next to Bamagog. And then I will cast.
You are going to take a attack of opportunity.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm not going to move.
Okay.
Oh, man, it totally wouldn't have even hit me anyway. Damn.
Yep. Major declaration.
Shoot. Okay. It's okay. I'm going to use Twin Spell to cast Firebolt at both of the demons.
Okay. Now you have the thing that lets you bypass damage resistance, correct? Elemental Mastery.
I have Elemental Adept, which gives me. Yes.
You ignore resistance to fire damage.
Yeah, it ignores resistances.
Okay. Yeah. So you see him laugh as he sees the fire channeling in your hand, and he looks at you. He's like, "That's not gonna hurt me." And you let it out, and it actually. You all watch as the fires twist around each other and split out, forming into small dragons that strike both of them, and they roar out in pain.
Damn.
But now it is this guy's turn.
That sucker.
Real quick. You're within 10 feet of me.
Okay.
Thanks.
Alex, you watch as his eyes begin to glow. That wasn't very nice.
The one in front of me?
Yes,
Okay. Is he about to cast a spell?
he is.
Okay, well, I'm going to cast Counterspell
Ooh,
at 4th level.
One moment. I need you to make a ability check using your spellcasting ability.
And I get a +4 to that as well.
From
Emboldening Bond.
okay. Unfortunately, that will not be enough. And your counterspell is not able to overcome the power of the spell that he is casting.
Damn.
You are stunned, as per power word stun. You get a Constitution throw at the end of each of your turns from now on to resolve that. And he is going to step forward closer to you since you are stunned. And he's going to attack you twice.
This is going to
Question,
suck.
Dave.
Yes.
Does confusion stop me from using my reactions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you take no action. It says you take no action this round, I believe.
Okay. Just want to double
Let me
check.
double check. I do want to double check because that's a fair question. Can't take reactions, correct.
Okay.
So you have 2 attacks coming at you. I think Bjorno is out of range to intercede. So
I think I don't think I am for the runic shield though. I think I can force a reroll from the second year.
Well, the first one's going to miss, so that's a luxury.
No, he's rolling with advantage because you're stunned.
Runic
Oh.
shield is 60 feet, so go ahead
Okay.
and reroll that critical, please.
Okay.
Roll another one.
So both of those will end up hitting. As you watch his pincer comes through and grabs Alex in the side, and the first time he closes down, these runes appear around Alex's waist and push the pincer back, and he roars and goes at it again. You will take 42 damage.
Damn.
Between both attacks.
Damn.
Bimgog.
Bimgog, upon seeing his friend get, torn into, steps closer to her, and takes aim at the demon over here. Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
All right, and then
It's not a spell you use every day.
no, but these things seem like they're bigger than the average bear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Attack 1, attack 2. That sucks real bad. I don't think either of those are going to hit. Yeah, we're going to let it roll. That's fine. I'm real bad at shooting today. I'm distraught. I'm distraught over my friends.
Do you want to use your
No, I do not, because I suspect I might need that later.
Okay. Bjorno.
I'm gonna do the full attack routine on this motherfucker right here.
Okay.
Do it.
That is a brutal blow.
With a sad little follow up there, and then here comes swing number 2.
That'll also hit, and that will also hurt. Anything else?
That will conclude my turn.
Okay. He will look at you. He is also. You are going. I need you to give me.
Oh, actually, I got one last thing I want to do. I'm going to invoke the Hill Rune.
Okay.
That's my bonus action.
Okay. Which does.
I now take half damage from piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing.
Okay. Give me a Constitution save. Bjorno. Oh, there we
I'm
go.
sorry, that was the wrong thing. I rolled a. I get actually I'm trained in that, so blah blah blah, and then I get another die. I get another die 4.
Yep.
How do we do?
Okay. You are stunned.
Okay, I am not going to accept that. I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
Come on, 4. Come on, 4.
There we go.
Oh,
Okay, you managed to just barely shake it off. But you and then his pincers come flying in at you. I'm guessing a 21 hits.
A 21 will hit.
You'll take 12 damage.
Half that minus 3. 6 minus 3 is 3 damage.
It is it would be minus 3 and then half, I believe. I don't know if that's really going to make a difference, but
I don't think the order of operations matters on that one.
yeah. Anyway, Broduk, your turn. Would you like to give me a
Die 10.
D10?
Deuce.
Okay, let me pull up the spell again.
Tell me I kill Hildy.
Just don't kill
You don't
Hildy.
take any actions.
God
Yeah.
damn it. All right, I'm making my wisdom saving throw then now.
Yep.
I get to roll a die 4 to this. Not that it'll probably matter. I rolled a 4 too. Fucking of course.
Broduk, you you were kind of staring forward, and you're looking at this creature, and the more you look at her, the more you look at it, the more you feel like you're looking at her. And by her, I mean an elderly bugbear.
Grandma.
She's got a bonnet, and she's got cookies, and she keeps feeding the cookies to Bjorno.
Aww. You just hear that, Hildy. Aww.
Oh.
Serenia.
I'm gonna upcast Moonbeam right on.
You are. Oh, doesn't Moonbeam need to be outdoors?
No,
No,
it can be
call-
anywhere.
Call Lightning does, Moonbeam does not. So
Okay. Go ahead.
directly on asshole number 1, or technically
Number
2,
2.
but he's the asshole in front of me. So, so here. I don't know. Sorry, don't take that. That shouldn't be at 4th level. It should be this one. Well, yeah.
All right. He
So-
does make his save.
So half that. And yeah, I don't think that's a special type of damage, just half of it.
That's radiant, but it doesn't do
Oh, it
anything
is radiant.
special to him.
Cool. And then I'm gonna 5 foot back.
Okay. Hildy.
Hildy sees that Broduck is just been freaking standing there this whole time, and sort
Give
of
him chocolate
slaps
chip
him a
one.
little bit. It says, "Hey, buddy, you got to get back into the game," and slaps him a little bit, like on the shoulder side, and casts resistance. So the next time there's a roll, he gets another D4. So he has 2 D4 to roll on top of that one.
I need it. I need it so bad.
And then 10, 15, 20, 25. And Hildy will run over here to help Bjorno in the next round.
Okay. Alex, you were somewhat eviscerated, but you are still stunned.
It's a Constitution save, right?
Yes, it is.
Yo!
You all watch as this creature just has gashed and punctured holes in Alex, and you see something arise inside of her as she turns to it, and in Bimgog, through your mask, you could swear you see her skin turn gold. As Alex, you come back to it. I'll actually even still give you your action for the round.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, I'm burning hands right into this guy.
Okay.
And it's
manages-
still half damage on a successful save, too.
He still manages to save.
It's a DC 15, and he rolled a 14.
He rolled a 17. He has advantage against all magical effects.
Lame.
Suck.
Rude. Well, he still takes 16 fire damage. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to convert 4 sorcery points into another 4th level spell.
Okay. Does Moonbeam do damage at the start of the round?
I believe it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, if they start in the beam.
Start in the beam.
And if he's a shape changer, he turns back into his original form. So if he's a werewolf in disguise, you have to tell us.
We can only hope.
He will move out of the way.
He's also just hang on a second. I need to
Attack of
roll
opportunity.
Spores.
Oh, wait, no.
Spores.
He's still within 5 feet. of me.
DC 16 still on the spores.
Okay. He is fine on the spores. He does manage to take the full damage from the moonbeam.
So 16.
Mm-hmm. But he looks at you, Serenia, and he does not look like he is entertaining this anymore. Or actually, no, he is going to split his attacks. Alex, you watch as one of his fists and one of his pincers come at you. I'm guessing a 13 doesn't probably hit, but the 23 will.
Yeah, I can't even shield against that.
You'll take 15 damage.
I'm down.
Oh.
And Serenia, he is not hitting you. Bimgog, Alex just dropped before you with a big hole in her chest.
Well, that's unfortunate. Bimgog sees Alex go down, and you just hear him. First, he was looking to shoot at this creature, and immediately looks down at Alex, reaches down and slams his hand against her to cast Cure Wounds. I'm going to upcast it, so we're going like this. Boink. So Alex heals 9. And then, as a bonus action, he pulls out his crossbow and fires it at the creature.
Okay.
And critically fails.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna inspiration that because I'm tired of this shit. Jesus Christ. There we
You
go.
hit.
I am so tired. What is going on? Who cursed me? And
Probably the demons.
you're not wrong. And Fury of the Small on top of that. So
Okay. Bjorna.
another 8. Leave my friends alone.
Good thing he got her back up, otherwise he's going for that TKO.
I know. That's what my concern is.
That will certainly connect.
With the sadness.
The sadness. You barely managed to get it past his claw. You actually chipped out part of his claw, which he doesn't seem to be able to pinch with anymore.
All right, that's going to conclude my turn.
Yeah, so you all are watching as Bjorno is just straight up knocking into this guy, refusing to let him get any closer to anyone, as he is roaring in pain. And you watch as as his blood that's pooling on the floor, this black ichor just spreads out around underneath the both of you. And slightly bigger than that. There we go.
Oh.
You are engulfed in darkness. Do you have an ability to see in magical darkness, Bjorno?
That is a negative. I do not have
Okay.
ability to see in magical darkness.
He does, so he will be attacking you with advantage. Does a 27 hit you?
A 27 will hit me, yes.
You will take 10 damage.
I will take 5 and then subtract 3 from that.
Okay.
So I'll take 3 points of damage.
Okay, Broduk, he is no longer concentrating on confusing you.
Oh, yeah.
and you feel the sense of confusion lift as you watch your grandma stab Bjorno, and then everything go dark in that room.
I'll stare forward for a second, and then hearing the sounds of combat behind me, I'll look over my shoulder, and only seeing one viable target, I'm gonna rush over there.
You also see that Alex is fucked up too.
Yeah. How tall is this area? Like, where's the roof at? Is it 10 feet up, 15, 20?
15.
Okay. Then I will rush here, and I will fly into a rage as I just bring my giant gorilla bugbear arms over top of Serenia and chop down into the demon.
Okay.
Reckless attack. I probably don't need this die for, but here it is anyway. So 27
will hit.
Okay, and damage. Get out of the way. Rolls. Die 6 on top of that. So 30. Wait, did that come out weird? I just rolled a bunch of ones, didn't I? Yeah. So that'll be 16 points. 16 points of damage.
Okay.
And then second attack. Oh, I only rolled 1 die with that.
That'll hit.
Okay. Damage. 1 more d6. 24. Seems weird.
Yeah, you all watch as he takes this great axe shaped thing, but every time he hits the creature, instead of drawing blood, it just leaves this massive bruise. Like, it's not slashing, it's just the sheer force of the impact is just battering this creature. Yeah. Serenia.
How messed up does the thing in front of me look?
He looks fucked up 10 ways to Sunday.
And I'll leave this up to you, Dave,
Sure.
because Bjorno and the other demon have not moved through this conflict. There is now the black pit over there.
Correct. It's darkness. It's the entire, like, you cannot see into that room.
But I know how far away the demon was originally, and
you could not accurately cast a moonbeam on him if that's where you're going.
I'm not trying to cast it, but I can move my moonbeam up to 60 feet per an action. So if I just shot it that direction, right?
Sure. I'm going to require a ranged attack roll on top of it.
Just don't hit Bjorno.
Right. Well, that's the actual question. I'm more looking for the roll that would get the moonbeam past where I thought Bjorno was.
I don't think that's going to be possible based on his size and the doorway that you're working with. You do have a nearly downed teammate right next to you, and this creature looks like he is ready to die.
Well, so moving the moonbeam is actually an action, so I was going to heal Alex with moving the moonbeam is a move action, so I was going to heal Alex regardless. I'm just trying to decide, do I...
Again, if you do move the moonbeam into there, Bjorno will have to make a save.
I know, but he's a strong man. Like, he's probably fine. But the moonbeam gives dim light that fills the cylinder. So if even a square of it is slightly past his vision and lets him see, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think it would work with the darkness effect being there.
It's a magical light. Also, I understand...
Moonbeam cannot pierce darkness.
I hear you. I understand you. My character does not understand that, so
Okay.
the decision that I'm making right now is more of a like internal, not a meta. Okay,
Sure.
let's.
Please make your call, and we'll go from there.
I'm going to send the moonbeam into the darkness to the best of my ability of getting it past Bjorno, but not past the whole thing.
I need you to make a ranged spell attack, and Bjorno, I will need you to make a Constitution save or whatever this. Hold on. Yeah, Constitution save.
Where? How do I just do a generic ranged spell? Is it the spell?
You could click where your chill touch is. You can make a chill touch attack, and I'll count that.
Okay, 1 second. Let me find it.
To be fair, he won't be affected by the moonbeam this turn. He's only affected at the start of his turn.
That's well, but he will be affected at the start of his turn because he won't have had the opportunity to leave it.
Well, that's if the moonbeam lands in one of his squares.
True.
It is. It's gonna land. It's gonna land between the two of them.
Okay. So but he won't be able to see it.
Correct.
Damn it. Okay. Well, my actual action, I'm going to upcast Cure Wounds on Alex. Please don't die.
I'm not.
Good.
Hildy.
Hildy sees the darkness and goes, "Oh shit, I don't like the darkness," and casts daylight.
So, Day Woman, enemy of Nightman, master of karate.
That's how the song goes.
Champion of the sun.
This is Justice.
It is Justice.
Bjorno, you see this giant beam of moon energy that's impacting both you and the creature. It feels very uncomfortable.
Serenia, what the fuck?
I thought it would help you see. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's helping me see.
Not as well as Hildy.
I look at the
Anything else?
demon. Can you believe this?
I know, man. It's true. It's like,
Fuck.
that's why I'm a
Bjorno,
demon.
next time I'll leave you in the darkness. My bad.
And
Here's
just
that on
because
Women's Day. Fuck.
and just because I have a bonus action, I'm going to Bjorno still looks okay, so I'm going to cast Spiritual Web. Oh no, you can't do two spells as a bonus.
I don't think you can because it's a full.
Oh, magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. Didn't happen.
Okay. Alex.
All right. This is awesome. This guy's still in front of me.
Yep.
Is it awesome?
It's pretty awesome.
You're okay.
Because I'm not dead yet.
I got you.
I will. I'm just gonna use Burning Hands again because this
Seems
is funny to
appropriate.
me now. Because he mocked my fire.
Okay. Yeah. You're kind of laying there, and they give you the heals, and you just bring your hands over, and you remember the dance class you took as a kid, and you give him jazz hands. And as you do, the fire comes out of it, and he disappears into a sulfuric puff of smoke as he is slain and removed from this world. Anything else?
Nope. That would be it.
Bimgog Banderwinks.
Bimgog runs up to here, and Bimgog will take aim at this one and move his hunter's mark.
Okay.
And he is going to quietly hope that his luck has changed, but we'll find out. God damn it!
Roll for damage.
God damn it!
No.
What is happening?
Bjorno, take 9 damage total as you get shot in the tuchus.
That's brutal.
I now
What the
have
fuck is
I now
going
have 69 hit points.
on? What?
Nice.
Nice.
According to the memes, this is funny.
Nice.
Bimgog takes his crossbow and he just whispers, "I swear to everything holy, I'm gonna warn you, you piece of shit." That's turn.
Excuse me, Mr. Demon. I have to take care of something. I draw my hammer. My throwing hammer. I pick it up. Excuse me for just a minute.
Give me a Constitution save.
I gotta whip this hammer at Bimgog first.
That's fair. I deserve that.
That's not fair.
This is the way.
Plus 4.
Look, they've discussed this before.
Plus 4, Mr. Bear.
16.
You already know. Plus 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
That'll hit. That'll hit.
No, it's my con save. 17 or 19. Not too bad.
That'll
Great.
still-
You'll take a total of 6 radiant damage.
Okay. Ouch.
What would you like to do with the rest of your turn?
I'm gonna lay into this creature.
Okay.
Get out.
Just to be clear, what happened with Bimgog's shot is the first arrow lodged in the armor, and that would have been fine because it wouldn't have done anything. It was when the second arrow hit it dead on that it drove it through the plate. Brimgog, you keep thinking to yourself, this never would have happened if this was the crossbow sprocket made you.
It's true. It's the truth.
Bjorno, how do you want to do this?
I just want to take the hammer and catch it by the mouth, and then have one of the horns of the maul actually like catch the thing in the back of the head and whirl him into the ground. Just a shower of gore.
Yeah, you essentially, after you parry away 2 of his claws, you get the hammer into the mouth, like you said, and just using it as a fulcrum, you just lift him over your head, and you hear the squish as the horn breaks into the roof of his mouth, and you flip him over your back towards Bimgog as he goes flying over your head, and Bimgog, the monster slides into you dead. Before he dissipates into a puff of sulfuric smoke.
I'm gonna pull the crossbow bolt out of my ass.
Why'd you do that, Hildy?
Why did I do what?
Oh, Bimgog moves quietly behind this corner.
I only saw a crossbow bolt that went flying. What did I do? And she runs over to Alex.
Alex, are you okay?
Doing great. And she takes a shot. And then also casts Cure Wounds on herself.
Do a healing word also. How are you hurting? Are you hurting more, or do you need more help?
I'm good now. I'm good. This is
Okay.
great. Everything's
okay.
great. We're fine. Anybody else hurt? We all good?
Bjorno, how are you doing?
I could use a little.
I'll get you. I did hurt you, so that's fair. Fair play. I figured of all of us, you'd be the most capable of dealing with it, and I genuinely thought I could get you some vision in there, but I was wrong, and Hildy actually could, so maybe let's not leave light magic to me.
Well, there goes Broduck after the magic.
No, Broduck! No! Broduck!
You pick up the shard.
Yeah, the
Listen,
gods! Damn
We're going to
it,
take
Broduck.
a quick 5-minute break.
Oh my god.
Welcome back. I have been properly traumatized by all of the things that the party has said to me while we were gone, but now we are ready to resume. Broduk, you had finally put hands on this shard, and you all watch as you're all as everybody goes no, and Broduk picks it up, and again another wave of energy expands out from him, but nothing happens.
I'll take a.
Got it.
Good job, Broduk. Good job, Broduk. Let us put that back into the bag that I have with the shard.
Okay.
I am proud of you for being a good person.
Thank you. I
Does
like
it
reach
feel like
over
nothing
her.
happened? Go on.
I was just saying, I reach over her into her backpack, and I open up the wrapping, and I drop it on top of the other shard, so that
Which is covered in a blanket. They are not touching. It's wrapped in a blanket. They are not touching.
It's okay as long as the shards don't touch.
Yeah, blanket is like wrapped. It's swaddled, baby. You gotta pull that out to unwrap it. Good job, Broduk.
Thank you.
Let us do what we need to do to get out of here. But I will say that I think I need to take a nap for us to do any more going through doors.
Yeah, I can't go through any more doors today.
So we should check on our friends. It is a little horrifying that demons were playing with everybody here.
You know, actually, the scariest part was how the demon was able to teleport another demon in here with us, because shouldn't this technically be inside of our non-teleportation walls of the city?
Roll me an Arcana.
How deep are we? Do they have a depth check?
I don't know. I don't know.
It was not. It was not the same as the type of teleportation. This had more had to do with a planar rift as opposed to teleportation.
Oh, well, that's even scarier.
Yeah.
Okay. Not cool. I don't know why that would have happened here.
My grandma brought cookies.
Well, that's
I reach in the pouch
lovely.
and I pull out some cookies. You all want some cookies?
No, thank
I
you.
love grandma cookies. I will definitely have one.
They look just like the cookies that Alex's mom gave us.
I happily munch away on the cookies. Well, your grandma's a great baker, Broduk.
She fed them to Bjorno.
So are we able to get out, or are we able to only stay here? Is that what
We
we're doing?
need to stay here until I take a very long rest.
Bimgo.
What are you doing?
What is that? Oh, that's the guy.
Actually, Alex, give me an Arcana roll again, with advantage. You think that if you pushed one of those shards up against this door, it might open this one.
Hey, hey, Hildy. Give me those shards real quick. I have an idea.
I will hand them over.
I'll put the purple one up against the door first.
It opens.
Oh, well, that solves that problem.
You have a feeling it probably only specifically applies to this very specific door.
That's oddly specific, but it works. Everybody through.
What a weird gut feeling, right?
Good enough. Let's go.
I drag my captives along with me.
I don't like how you say that.
I drag the ingredients to tonight's dinner along with me. Is that better?
I like that. I like that even worse.
How are our insane people?
They're exhausted.
doing?
They look like they've been up for multiple days. They're barely walking.
I will do my best to assist them in their movements.
They're like tied well, right?
Yes.
I tied
Go
him.
on.
You guys are in a room with 6 doors.
I start pulling on the ropes until the one that gets us out opens.
Which one do you pull on?
All of the ropes until this one opens.
Which one do you pull on first?
I guess I'll start with this one next to it.
Okay. That one, the door you were hoping to open will open.
Oh, wonderful.
We go through.
I
All right.
am checking on our people. Medicine check 13.
Sure. They look like they've been up for multiple days, unable to sleep, and they will probably collapse as soon as they are outside of this dungeon.
Bjarno stares at the suspicious pipe suspiciously.
Okay, you have a chain here and a chain here.
Is this door still open?
No, it closes after about 30 seconds.
Son of a poopers.
With the blade sliding right through again.
Well, then we pull this chain to get us out of here.
Okay. Give me one moment.
Yes.
And we all die.
Yeah, pretty much.
It worked before, so I don't
I can't open any doors now.
You watch as in horror, Bjorno, as you're watching that pipe, red gas begins pouring out of it.
Okay, since I was anticipating this trap, I would like to take an action, and I want to plug the fucking hole.
What are you going to attempt to use?
I will use my fist.
Okay. You see the gas coming through, and are you gonna just jump up and try to clog it?
Pretty much. I'll go huge if I need to go huge. I'll go huge.
As soon as you come in contact with it, you feel overcome by madness, and I need everyone in the party to roll initiative.
Oh, we're all gonna die.
Yes.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Oh goodness, I forgot to do my thing. Pardon me. But I'm gonna keep the initiative that I rolled initially.
The captives.
So even though I'm expecting it, I get my fist in it. The gas still comes.
Yep.
I hate this dungeon.
Yeah, it's the worst. One moment. Descending. Bimgog.
Did we do a long rest or not? Sorry.
Nope.
Oh, perfect. Love that for us.
Bimgog.
Okay, so I have no idea what's happening other than the fact that Bjarno plugged a hole with this big old meat fist.
There's gas pouring around his fist, as the seams in the pipe begin spilling gas out.
I can still see gas pouring out.
And you are surrounded by enemies.
I'm surrounded by enemies?
Yeah, you're surrounded by them. That bugbear's an enemy. Those Goliaths are enemies. That blonde girl's an enemy. The mushroom's an enemy. She's spicy.
I can't. Since I can. I'm going to disengage to get away from these people.
Quick question. What do I perceive him as an enemy?
Yes.
Sentinel attack.
Okay. Against disengage?
Yes, it breaks disengage.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
Sorry, I had
No, it's fair. Go ahead.
I'm not raging right now, so I rolled a 1. You're good.
All right. So, since I was going to take target against somebody else, but since that was what happened, I guess I have to shoot at the enemy that came after me here. Pew pew.
19 will hit.
And 17 piercing.
Got it. I'm not raging.
That is turn.
Hildy.
Oh, son of a poopers. Well, since that happened 5, 10, Hildy pulls this cord right here
Okay.
to open this door.
Doesn't open.
Son of a poopers.
I want to be clear. You pulled that after the other one was pulled.
Oh, yes, most
So
definitely.
the other one's gone back in. You pulled that one, but you were also surrounded by enemies.
Hildy is not an aggressive person and does not attack unless attacked.
I'll let you take a wisdom roll at disadvantage.
Saving or just wisdom?
Oh,
'Cause
actually,
this
my
is
apologies. My
religion.
apologies. Everybody in the party gets a wisdom roll.
Oh,
Okay, I like that.
I fail it, of course.
Alex, you're fine. Broduk, you're surrounded by enemies. Bimgog, you're surrounded by enemies. Hildy, you're fine. Bjorno, you're surrounded by enemies.
Hold on a second. I got a thing.
I don't think we still have that, do
Oh
we?
no, it's only 10 minutes. I'm sorry.
It's
It's
been
long gone.
it's been less than 10 minutes. Did
You're
we take a
still
break?
You're still surrounded by enemies.
Okay.
Yeah. That goes against Hildy's core
That's fine.
religion of going attacking
That's fine.
enemies.
You pulled one chain and nothing happened.
All right.
Broduk.
I give a visceral scream as I fly into a blind rage.
I'm sorry. All I'm
Um,
hearing is
And I'm going to attack the person who looks like the most dangerous person, which is going to be Bjorno.
Bjorno is currently hanging from the ceiling with his hand in a pipe.
Oh,
But sure.
I mean, he's the
Bimgog did shoot at you, by the way.
he did do that. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll move here and attack Bimgog.
Okay.
All right, reckless attack.
That hits.
Okay. Get these damn. Okay. And then add another d6. So 30 points of damage for the first attack.
Right. Ah!
And then second attack. $22.
22 hit.
Another d6. So 35 points of damage.
Ah! The force just pummels the poor goblin against the wall.
No place!
Serenia.
Okay, so we know where the pipe is,
Yes.
and
And Bjorno's got his fist in it, but the gas is still pouring around it.
so there's no getting around his fist, yeah? Like,
Correct. Now the only other thing is Hildy tried one of the back chain to attempt to open the back door and nothing happened.
is there another chain?
Yeah, there's the front chain. That's the
I'll
one that set off the trap.
I hate everything about this. Serenia will go and
Sentinel
let me make
attack.
sure I'm within 5 feet. I did.
If
Walking right-
it says that if a
If you
creature
move.
moves. Oh, it's a provoke. Never mind. It's a provoke still. Never mind. She's still within my melee.
Chill.
Sentinel. Sentinel.
Let me just look something up real quick. Yeah, so I will 5 foot and pull the other chain again, and then as a bonus action, I will turn invisible.
Hildy, when you pulled the chain, did you keep it held or did you pull it and let it go?
I would have pulled it if nothing happened. I would have let it go.
6
Okay.
p.m.
You pull the chain
2
and nothing happens.
Yeah, I'm still going invisible.
Okay,
So-
you go invisible. Bjorno.
Okay, so this pipe, I'm gonna get huge with my whole arm fucking in it. I don't care if I take damage.
Okay, yeah, roll, actually, I'll roll the damage on that. You're becoming huge.
Well, getting big. Yeah, large in size.
It
Or
will take 10
literally anyone
damage.
else besides Sebastian.
Cannot be reduced.
No problem.
But the gas stops flowing around your hand as the pipe is expanding, but it is starting to crack at its seams.
All right.
Hey, Bree.
Do I get a wisdom save?
Is your door closed?
Everybody that is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do I get a wisdom save?
Were you affected by the gas?
I was.
No.
You will need to take some sort of combative action, and no, there is no additional wisdom save.
Okay. The crazy bugbear. Who's going nuts?
Swinging your maul one-handed or one of your
No, that's not what I'm doing at all. I am going to use the stone rune on him. Creature you can see ends its turn within 30 feet of you. You can use your reaction to force the creature to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 14. Creature is charmed for 1 minute.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a will save, Brodok. Okay. You now view Bjorno as your friend.
That's incorrect. The creature is charmed. You wouldn't want it. Charmed this way, the creature is a speed of 0 and is incapacitated, descending into a dreamy stupor.
Okay.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
He gets a saving throw at the end of each of his turns.
How is that a combative action? I guess I would ask then. If you were charming him to make him your friend to attack with you, that'd be one thing.
I'm trying to keep him from attacking me. And I already have my hands full.
All right.
It's my only disabling ability I have.
Okay.
I'm going to use inspiration then on that roll if it's going to take me out of combat.
Okay. Don't forget
roll
to add a
lower. Fucking shit. All right, I'm done with this.
Alex.
All right, I'm going to use my last 3 sorcery points to cast Distance Spell with Cure Wounds at Bimgog.
Okay.
And then I'm going to call out to Serenia and Hildy and say, pull both at the same time while trying to make myself as small of a threat as possible for these 2 giant things duking it out in front of me within inches of my face.
Bimgog. You're surrounded by enemies.
As a bonus action, I cast Zephyr Strike.
Okay.
I then move here. Does not provoke opportunity attacks. So I can still see Brodok. I am sharpshooting at him.
Okay.
You have advantage.
I have advantage. Well, here's the...
Because both I'm stupid and I was reckless.
All right. Boop. Boop. 17, 19.
All right, so 36.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got a Zephyr Strike here.
36, so 18.
1d8. Boop.
And then 3 more.
And one other 1d8, sorry. So just... Burp, burp, burp. There we go.
Okay, 1 more.
And that is turn.
Okay. Hildy.
All right. Well, since I was given the heads up, is Hildy capable of grabbing both of them and yanking?
Yes, you are.
All right, she's gonna do that. Hildy is. I will do the things. Yoink.
And as you do that, you basically grab the other chain, you put your feet against the wall, and you stand up to pull the chains completely out. And a gush of wind comes through as both doors open, and all of the gas is swept back into the dungeon, and your mind's all clear.
Don't be dumbasses.
I remain in a stupid state.
That is given. Sorry, Brodok. It was a problem.
I'm gonna go small and exit the dungeon.
Okay.
Yes, it is time to run. Let's all run right now.
You do feel the ground beneath you beginning to quake and shake as it starts taking on somewhat of a wet, sticky feeling.
Hey, let's run right
Marco,
now.
we gotta
I'm
go.
gonna put Broduk over my shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't move
You
for a
guys-
minute.
Yep,
You guys
I'm carrying him out.
evacuating now?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm fireman carrying Broduk.
Okay. You guys get out, and as you leave, you're watching as the walls of the dungeon are collapsing in, and you notice that the doors, almost like teeth, try to close in on you as you all jump out of the exit.
Oh, Hildy's still stuck in there.
Well,
Nope,
I'm gonna have
you all make it
nightmares
out.
for weeks.
Okay, yay. Yay!
The investigation is complete if you manage to get all of the item cards and do not have the insane condition.
You all are face to face with the captain of the Queen's Guard, Orianne, who looks at you in your battered and beaten condition. She has set up a camp. It is evening. I was beginning to get worried about you all. I didn't expect it to take you a whole day, let alone 2.
I am not surprised. This is an interesting group of friends. They do things their own way, which might take a little bit longer than expected.
No,
Well,
what
But
happened?
we did it.
Come sit by the fire. I have some venison I caught earlier today, and some steaks and some eggs.
That all sounds great.
Where am I?
We are outside the dungeon. You won,
Oh.
Broduk.
I had the worst dream.
Tell us about it.
I'll tell later. Food. I go over and sit.
Okay. You guys eat. The food is not especially well seasoned, but it is hearty as it is a full meal. So, what was inside? By the way, the
Demons.
guard captain and the other people have passed out on sleeping mats.
Demons.
Demons.
Yeah, it was a little unexpected.
Why would
Shiny stone.
demons- Why would demons have anything to do with our draconic heritage?
Who knows? We don't know that. We have things that we need to talk about. I am hesitant to give this information out to everybody, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay. I
Right on.
cover up my ears.
Captain of the Queen's Guard, anything worth knowing I should know.
They have been through a lot. They got sent down there, and it was more than they could handle. Their minds were completely destroyed from the demons.
Interesting.
You know, there was
Did you-
another door that we didn't go down.
It's true.
Did you find what you were supposed to find?
Oh yeah, we totally brought back
Shard?
all those guys. That's what we were hired for. Definitely.
Well, the shard. Did you find the shard?
Not
Shiny
just
magic
one, but
rock.
2.
It depends on which one exactly you're looking for. So I guess we'll have
Two
to
shards.
identify them to figure out.
Green and purple.
The Technomancer will be very pleased. Get your rest. I will take watch, and you all can get your rest we'll move back to the city at the morning.
Well, as strange as it might sound, I've actually maintained most of my inner fighting reserves, so I shall stay up and watch with you, and I'm going to second wind.
Okay. Do you want to take first, second, or third watch?
No, I'm just staying up. Fuck it.
Okay.
Hildy is trusting and just goes to sleep. Because that was way too much.
Ernie will be on second.
Okay.
I sleep the whole night.
I'll tell Bimgog to wake me up if he takes a watch.
Bimgog, atypically, he is in so much pain, and he doesn't really recall why, other than he's had terrible dreams. Has been really quiet as he ate his venison, and he literally just curled in a little ball, like with the little owl just perched next to him, kind of under his little neck, and he's just kind of shivering as he sleeps.
Then I will just sit next to Bimgog and make sure nothing happens to him to further traumatize him.
Okay. First watch. Bjorno, give me a perception check. Nothing too terribly interesting happens. You tend the fire. You think back on the rune that you saw at the entrance to the cave. Its image kind of sticks in your mind.
It was a seal. It wasn't there to guard. It was there to seal.
Who's taking second?
Bjorno.
Okay.
And Serenia.
Okay. Give me another perception check, Serenia.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Again, nothing terribly out of the usual. The guard captain will rest since you guys are both on watch. Bjorno, I need a Constitution save.
Oh my god.
You will take 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Who's taking third watch?
Well, hey, Dave, quick
Bjorno is.
question.
Sure.
Is okay, yeah, someone can stay up for 1 watch. I was gonna say if we can tell Bjorno to go the fuck to bed.
Bjorno's
right?
not listening to anything you have to say.
Serenia will try to be as persuasive as possible that Bjorno needs to sleep and Serenia will stay up in his stead.
Nah, I'm good. Third watch.
Third watch. Anybody else? Passes uneventfully. You all wake up in the morning. Bjorno's got heavy bags under his eyes, but seems stoic and resolved as ever. The guard captain helps you all pack up your things. The captives are still just kind of rather stunned. The guard captain barely able to say more than "thank you" and "I'm so sorry" over and over. But you set
Hildy
out.
looks at Bjorno and goes, "Shame on you, Bjorno. I understand you need to protect, but if it is at the detriment of you, then you are not helping anybody. Shame on you, Bjorno. You should have asked for help." So, keep going.
Yeah, Bjorno puts his maul over his shoulder and leads the way.
Okay. You guys spend about a day traveling, as you did, same going out here, passing, small exerted villages, farmsteads, things like that. But the travel is mostly uneventful, and you arrive back into town around the time that would generally be for dinner. The guard captain looks at you all and says, I believe it would be appropriate for us all to return this to the royal court. The technomancer can receive these from you and begin his work to rescue your friend. Do you all have the body?
Yes. Yes, we do.
He will also need that as well.
Where'd that go?
Would like someone be able to like stay with the body?
Generally people aren't allowed into the technomancer's lab, but he is a respected academic. He has no interest in necromancy beyond what would be needed to manage the souls through these artifacts.
I get that, but seeing as how we are dealing with someone's soul here, I feel like, you know, at minimum, maybe his emergency contact should be involved in the process.
I desire an audience with the queen.
And one should be given. I'm sure that she will be expecting you all. When we send somebody out on someone such as yourselves on a mission of this note, it is customary for the king and queen to sit in court until the party returns.
We shall bear heads then.
Okay. She takes you all through the city. As you walk through the city, let's see, Alex and Bimgog and Serenia, I need perception checks.
Bimgog is just not paying attention. He's just got like this like 1,000-mile stare.
All he cares about is bringing back Sprocket. Doesn't fucking matter.
Alex, you notice that the normal guard has been replaced with more members of the Queen's Guard. The women in the full plate with the tower shields and the red plumage, which is unusual. Normally the city is patrolled by regular city guard, but it would appear that the Queen's Guard has taken up somewhat more of an active role in the city. Which is not. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say Alex would go up to the guard that's leading and be like, "Hey, what happened to Carl? He used to man that that station back there."
Oh well, the military is starting to do practices and formations in the event that the city ever has to. Or is ever under siege or must engage with the forces of the cult, they need to be ready. And the town's guard has been called up to practice in militia drills.
Okay. And she'll kind of like fall back next to Bimgog again.
Fiona?
Hildy,
Yes.
can you cast the spell Protection from Good and Evil?
Not right now.
How much time would you need to prepare it?
Another long rest.
Serenia, you notice that there are some trees that are out of place. And you notice in a language that only you speak, that as soon as you enter the city, that you are being called to the glade.
We'll all still be a real casual on this walk, right? I'll real casual do a speak with plants via my staff, the woodlands, and I'll look over at the trees that are out of place and be like, "Hey man, you okay? You're not in your normal spot."
You notice the way that it moves. This is a druid. And you hear it whispering in the language of plants. We've been called. We must leave.
Keeping a fairly upbeat and conversational tone, Serenia will respond. Do you and our kind need assistance in this?
We've all been called. Yes. Yes, we will need your assistance. We will meet you soon. Come to the glade this evening.
Keeping an upbeat and conversational tone, Serenia will once again respond, "This is my Rocky Talkie number. See you soon."
You all see like Serenia like somewhat stop and like maybe slow down a little bit and just conversing back and forth with a tree, which isn't entirely unusual for Serenia. It is unusual as you watch the tree slowly start moving through the grass away.
It's not
So
the
you
weirdest
all-
thing we've seen.
It's not the weirdest thing you've ever seen.
Oh, was
You
that
all-
Hyperion's tree?
Yes.
You all are escorted back through the city onto the royal grounds, where you are again walked up the spiral staircase into the bright, enlightened room. The guard captain walks before you all. You notice that the guards do not accost you for your weapons this time. As the queen's maidens stand before the lot, she speaks up. Your Majesty, the strange friends have returned. I will allow them to give their report. And the queen kind of looks up. The king is still kind of laying there, looking fatigued and staring at you all. The queen kind of steps forward. What news do you bring?
We find people in shiny rocks.
Yeah, there's like demons and stuff underneath the city or whatever.
Demons.
Yeah, we killed like a couple of them, but you might want to like clear that whole thing out. I think the whole Undercity might in fact be a giant creature. But that's for later after I go and see my therapist.
Bjorno
You have
is carefully studying her mannerisms and reactions. She is sus as fuck to him right now.
Okay. That is concerning.
I think this might be part of the forgotten stories that my grandmother told me about. So I don't really know what's going on.
The
down
story
there.
of the belly of the beast.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Interesting. Did you find what you were looking for?
Oh yeah, we totally brought those dudes back. They're all safe and
And-
sound. Everybody is very safe. And alive.
She motions over to one of her servants. Make sure that my physician personally sees to the head of the king's guard. His health is most important. And the artifacts?
I thought we would, discuss those with the technomancer, but we found a couple of things. I don't know exactly what you're looking for. They still need to be identified. It might not even be what we were looking for to begin with. There was demons, like I said. It could be demonic. Who knows?
You
This
notice
should
the
be studied.
The technomancer is coming down the stairs at you guys from the back right corner, where you know his laboratory is back behind, deeper in the royal yards. You all you found something.
We found a couple things, yes. We don't know
was
what they
down
are.
there? Was it the Draco shard?
Evil.
Right. I don't know what kind of shards they are. We found a couple different ones.
It was
We
a den
found-
of evil.
But it was
Yeah,
definitely gross.
We found a lot of demons.
I'm pretty sure
And-
the entire thing was like an esophagus.
Esophagus or sarcophagus?
No, esophagus. Didn't you remember the teeth when we were fucking running out? It was
Oh,
fucking terrifying.
it was very
Yeah, no, it's like the whole
Yeah.
thing was gonna swallow us. Like it
It's
was really
very
gross.
true. It really did want to chew us up.
Kind of looks like he's thinking for a second, and he grabs he reaches into his pocket and he grabs a circular disc, and he grabs a pen or some sort of item and begins sketching on it. And he says, was it something like this? And he tosses it out in front of you, and a very primitive drawing of a spiked creature appears in front of you all. Did it look something like that?
Yes.
That it.
Well, I mean, yeah, there were those inside of it, but then the whole thing, I'm pretty sure, was a bigger creature, and I have no idea what that looks like. I only saw its teeth.
It's a madness demon.
Well, they were having a very
yeah.
good time with the gentleman that you sent down there before.
Yeah, we're lucky that you all were able to actually get down there. I'm pretty sure if we'd sent old Captain Ori down there, she'd be just as crazy.
It's not nice. She's standing like right there, man.
Yeah, there's a little trash talking there.
Ori shrugs. I am no adventurer.
We were a little lucky to have two of us that could stone shape. That fixed a lot of problems, let's be honest.
Yeah, we did.
Because
totally
we did not want to play the game.
Be careful.
Yeah.
We did not want to play the game, so we sort of
No, we did not want to lose the game, Hildy. We did play the game, and we got stuck, and then we short-circuited the game, and we won.
Well, I'm ready to begin the preliminary process of extracting your friend's soul from that sword. We'll need the shards, the shard that you obtained.
So, shall we adjourn to your lab then?
Yes, you need to have spectators on this to make sure that things go well.
And make sure you check both shards, because I don't know which one does what or what each one is. So be careful.
I just want to be clear with you lot. I don't know how long this is going to take.
I think we are willing to be okay with taking for at least a week, if not more.
The sooner we start, the sooner we're done. Let's go.
We will take turns on spotting.
You guys are asking me to crack an artifact without blowing up the city.
Yeah.
I'm ready to begin my preliminary studies, which are probably going to take a week or two just for the preliminary, just to give you a timeline.
The sooner we start, the sooner we're done. Let's go. If it takes you 2 weeks to have the preliminary, it takes you 2 weeks. But us standing around talking about it doesn't help anything.
Sergeant Leo, we are wasting their majesties' time. Could we please retreat to your laboratory to continue these discussions?
I know the Queen has some things to discuss with you. I'm going to work as soon as you give me these things. I have had no intention of inviting you to the lab quite yet, at least not till I figure something out. But I mean, if one of you wants to come with, Alex, you would be the most appropriate because you're from here, and no offense to the rest of you all, but there are these little state secrets things.
Well, okay. Who has the shards?
Hildy has the yes, I will give the shards to Alex and say, yes, you do what you need to do.
All right, and Bimgog has to come with me too because he's Sprocket's assistant and emergency contact.
Well, I know the Queen had something for Bimgog and Bjorno. Well, I shouldn't speak. And you notice the Queen's shooting daggers at him through her eyes. Bjorno, you definitely pick up on as soon as he starts speaking about that. She seems rather pissed off. My apologies, Your Highness. Alex, if you would care to join me, I did want to let you know there was some research on something that I think that may interest you. A flask I've been working on.
Awesome. Well, I'll go with them, but as I leave, I'll whisper a small message to Bimgog with the message spell, and I'll just be like, "I'll be right back in the other room. We'll figure this out and get Sprocket back."
Just hear like a little whimper, but it sounds like it's an approval.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, he will take you back there. Basically, you'll walk down 5 or 6 hallways. You walk for a couple of minutes, and finally he gets to some doors where you can tell he uses some magical incantations to unlock one, then another magical incantation, and another one to lock a second door, and then there's guards behind the third door. But after you get through, you are greeted to a very large chambered room. It's circular in nature, and you recognize a few things, including a planetary fixture that's revolving around, including all of the sun and all of the different moons and everything like that. You do notice that the sword is currently being held just by 2 narrow points holding it by the hilt, in some sort of apparatus that it looks like it's focusing some sort of energies on the crystal, but they're very, very, very low magic. It's not activated, if you will. To the rest of the party, the queen kind of says, "Well, now that is done with, I did have some news that may be of well, how to put this? You all have done the kingdom a great favor today in returning the guard captain. So I did have another favor to ask in return, but I feel this may be better compensation for what you have dealt with. There will be a gala in a few days, 3 days specifically, to celebrate me and my beloved king's first anniversary. And at that gala, I would like to announce some changes in how the city will be operating, but most specifically, while the guard captain is recovering from his injuries or whatever delayed him, I did need some additional services from the party. Bjorno, I believe it's Bjorno Bjornsson. I cannot hear you.
You're muted.
Something's weird. He's not muted on Discord. Or
Yeah.
on
No.
Zoom.
By his headphones.
And having heard, still can't hear you.
Nope.
Well, given that you are under the strange effects of a cone of silence, Bimgog, there have been recent concerns in regards to the cult's efforts to infiltrate our city. I would like to request of you, from what I understand of your talents, you are one who operates well in the darkness.
Yeah, I can see in the dark pretty well.
Would you be willing to take up a patrol of the royal grounds at night? I realize it is much to ask for you to not only serve, but to serve in a capacity as such, but at least until we understand what the cult's intentions are with the Drakenhorn. Would you be willing, as long as you are in town, to perhaps help us stay that much safer?
I mean, I'm going to be here until, we're able to get Sprocket back. So if you need people to go, creeping around at night to make sure that no one's getting into the city, I'm happy to help. Shouldn't be a problem.
I greatly appreciate that. We are more than happy to compensate you generously. to the sum of 50 gold a week while you are here.
To be perfectly honest, I don't really care about money. I just really care about getting my friend back.
Well, I have the technomancer. Have confidence will be making every measure of expediency to ensure that your friend is returned to us soon. I understand your friend was a talented inventor.
Yeah, he was the best. He was like one of the best inventors of like the entire time that the world's been around. So, it would be probably good to the whole world for us to get him back.
Can you tell me, you have such confidence in him? Hajime spoke rather poorly of him. Why is that?
Probably because Hajime was frightened by Sprocket's pure skills. Because I remember one time we received a wheel that was made by Hajime, but it turned out that it was really, really faulty, and the little things inside the wheel that make it spin, they were all gonna fall out, and it was gonna make the wagon explode. And you never know when something's built by Hajime if it's gonna like turn out okay and look all razzle dazzle, or just come out to have hollow promises. But Sprocket's stuff always worked, and that's the key part. It's about not just necessarily being flashy, but being efficient. And he was always about efficiency.
Yes.
There we go.
You notice the queen, like as you say that, the stuff that Hajime makes explodes. Like she reaches around her neck and takes off a necklace, and gently sets it down on the throne. Good to know. Yes, perhaps we consider it a fair trade. The technomancer will work to liberate your friend. In exchange, we will compensate you to guard the castle grounds in the evenings. You'll work with guard captain Ola to figure something out so that we can best utilize, or Orianne, to best figure out how to utilize your talents. Bjorno Bjornsson and Hildy.
Yes.
Go Grace.
I have a special request of you.
Yes.
You are a rune knight, are you not?
I am.
And Hildy, you are of his village, are you not?
Yes.
It is my belief that the giants were the force that struck down the dragons in the past when they rose up against the world. Is this correct?
It is.
It is most important to me that we understand how this was done and how we may best utilize the giants' advantages against the dragons in the coming war, should there be one. So I have a twofold request. Well, let me rephrase that. I have a request and I have a compensation for you. The compensation is that I am going to open up our archives to you, including all that we have on the history of runic magic. This may provide you some insight into the history of your peoples, as our archives are ancient, to put it lightly. There is an archivist who will work with you to ensure that any materials you handle are capable of being handled without disintegrating, is what I was told. But the study of runes in your people's history could be of much import over the coming months. In exchange, I would ask that in the week or two that it will probably take the guard captain to heal and return to strength, I would like you to serve as captain of the King's Guard, as you are the most proven and strong and noble knight that we have seen in many years. And while I have many capable fighters, knowing what I know of you now, I feel most confident that your guard will keep him safe, combined with Hildy's magical talents for healing and such. I will house both of you on the castle grounds, and you will have access to anything you need. But we would be honored if you would serve the crown in this way, at least until the King's Guard captain is healed.
I will serve as your champion in his stead until he has taken his health once more.
She reaches into her blouse and she pulls out a silk scarf and hands it to one of the maidens who will walk up and bow before you and present it to you as an emblem of her service, her favor.
Okay. I will affix it to my weapon.
I will say that none of that has anything that appeals to me, but all I desire is for the protection and the safety of those innocents that are in this community. So I will help, of course, to protect and save those that need it.
This is good. This is good to know, and your words bring me a sense of and Bjorno, give me another insight roll. Your words give me a sense of guilt for not doing more to protect the city. And you see, she kind of sits down on the throne. Bjorno, you pick up that she was not expecting that answer from Hildy.
Okay.
She was. You think she might have been trying to play matchmaker and house a little bit. I hear the wisdom in your words, and there are yet members of your party who could be of service. Broduck.
Brooke looks up from the back of the group where he sat down and has been gnawing on one of his toenails. Huh?
Would you care to work with the local guard on patrols? And,
No.
and she seems unsure of her request. Oh, well, yeah, that is okay. That's understandable. Well, I have given you all quests and services other than use. Serenia, was it?
Yes.
Is there anything you may need of the crown? You all have earned some favor.
Well, you said you've given us all things. You did not ask
that's why
anything.
I'm
I
asking
would
you.
I would like to. How can I assist you? You seem to have everything in mind of how everyone here could assist you, including Brodog, who is very useful. But you didn't have anything in mind?
You will have to forgive me. Druidic magic was never my focus of study. If I understand correctly, you and yours are effective with plant life and crops, is it? Perhaps you could do some druidcraft to help ensure that we'll have the required foods in the coming months should we be sieged.
That is a fantastic suggestion. Do you have a primary, what's the word? The person who deals with your stocks. The point of contact for...
Yes, you should speak with Counselor Jamma Gleamsilver, who actually, which is the next point I was going to bring up.
Can you spell that real quick?
Jamma Gleam Silver. Will actually be at the gala, which I figured was a good opportunity for you to meet those who help make sure that our city runs.
Of course. I'll look forward to meeting him.
I will hope to see you all there. If you have any need of anything, feel free to send words through any of the Grey Maidens, as she points to the guards. They in their order have my ear. and I appreciate the favor that you all have done.
All right. Bjorno's going to give a deep bow and take his leave.
Okay. They kind of wait for you all to walk out of the chamber.
Of course, Hildy backs out in a bow.
Rook pushes himself up off the ground and follows.
Half nod, walk out.
Bimgog?
Bimgog just like kind of stares off for a little bit and realizes as everyone leaves, and he gives a deeper bow and just kind of goes to go and find the person that's going to be assisting and teaching him the people he's going to be with.
Okay. You all make it back, or Alex, Rowan sets up the artifacts in such a way that the shards are upon two separate tables on opposite sides of the room. You notice that there are, on one of the shards, there is just a litany of books surrounding it, open to drawings and diagrams in languages you don't recognize. As he begins comparing his notes on it. So how's how this dungeon thing go?
I mean, we lived at the end of it, so that was pretty great. It was pretty complicated. Like there was some sort of puzzle inside of there, and I tried to figure it out, but at a certain point we decided to just like break the puzzle, which came out way easier.
You know, at the end of the day, whatever was down there was just down there to fuck with your heads. These shards are powerful. I mean, real powerful. This one, I have documentation on. That one I've never even fucking seen.
Well, what's this one?
This is a soul shard. What it does is, channeled properly, it can be used to entrap souls inside of it, which can also be released from it. Supposedly there are some other magical applications. Then again, using somebody's soul in that type of magic would be a pretty evil act. So there's not a lot of documentation on it. Originally, what these were used for, though, was when a dragon or a person of great note would pass, as opposed to allowing them to die. It was considered an honor to live on and serve the city immortal. They would contribute their souls to the shards, and then the souls, the magical powers within, would power the magical aptitude of the city. Now, since then, we've moved on to much less barbaric magics, and different natural sources using the ley lines and things like that. But before they understood that, this is what they were using.
So is there a soul in there now? Do you think this might be the soul of the first dragon?
I don't know, and I'm nervous to let anything out, because it's gonna. What if there is something in there? It's gonna look for a body.
Yeah, no, we can't do that until we get Sprocket into his body.
Well, what my thought was I might be able to attune the two crystals with some, sort of get them. You know what a tuning fork is?
Yeah.
Okay. He says that he holds up a tuning fork. This is the sword, and he hits it on a table. It's magic. Magic has a resonance to it. You're a sorceress, right?
Yeah.
So when you're casting your magics, you're tapping into the natural magics around you, correct? It's part of your blood.
Right.
I don't mean to be rude, and he pulls out a small scalpel. May I take some of your blood?
Sure. And she'll offer out her hand.
I promise we can wash it out. if
This
you're
is
worried about
fine.
some sort of weird blood matter.
Just make sure you get a Band-Aid heavily. I've been drinking a Band-Aid handy. I've been drinking today. It might be a bit thin.
He pricks your finger and collects little blood in a dish and hands you a towel to wrap your finger in. Now, he says, magic in your blood, right?
Right.
He grabs another tuning fork. This one's made out of some sort of crystal. He taps it on the table, and you watch as he puts it underneath the dish that your blood is in, and your blood starts to vibrate, and then you start to see a magical aura lift up off of it.
That's pretty crazy. Can that fork give me powers?
Well, kind of. It's something actually that I've been interested in for a long time, because if you go back through the book, through history, the people of your family's bloodline have always been gifted with these sorts of magics. And as I traced your lineage, I found that just about anyone connected to your family had that sort of lineage, had that sort of magical impact. But it's only the women in your bloodline that have this. Funny enough that this should come up on National Women's Day, but you know, we like to celebrate such things.
Wait, do you remember that wizard that I was gonna go see way back a few months ago before all this craziness started?
Fizzban, yeah, I brought you the letter.
Yeah, have you heard from him lately at all?
No. Something happened to him?
Well, yeah, see, he went missing after the town of Greens got ransacked, and I've been trying to find him. I'm hoping he wasn't kidnapped by the cult. Maybe he just ran away because he's a coward. Who knows?
He was a weird fella. He always wanted to study dragons, but
yeah, I was working with him on bloodline stuff, and what you're saying makes me kind of nervous that maybe he wasn't kidnapped by the cult. Maybe he worked for the cult.
Well, he's the only man I've ever known that could walk into a dragon's lair and back out and not be, a crispy critter or frozen or.
I mean, I've done it 3 times. 4
Well, yeah,
times.
but he didn't fight the dragon. He's
well,
got
then
some way
then
of
3
talking to
times.
him. Either way, at the end of the day, he takes the dish that your blood was in and rinses it out under some water. Either way, what I was really getting at, and he walks over and grabs a different crystal that you notice is the same hue as the soul shard, and he taps it on the table, and he walks it over to the soul shard, and the shard starts vibrating, and then he pulls it back away and stops its vibration, says, magics like these are intertwined, and if I can understand how this shard works, then in theory, I can design a tuning fork, if you will, that should extract Sprocket from the sword.
Okay. But you don't need the body until you're ready to start the extraction process, right?
I mean, I don't know how long this is going to take. So my big concern would be to successfully extract it, and Sprocket ain't got nowhere to go. That's how you end up with something called a revenant.
Well, right, but before you're ready to actually try the big attempt for the first time, you have a few weeks of research first, right?
More than likely, yeah.
Okay, because
Are you anxious about leaving the body?
Actually, I am. I'd have to talk to Bimgog about it. It's a whole thing. I can't just give you his body.
I mean, I got a case here that'll preserve him and everything, and he points to this glass domed case that you now notice.
I'll mention it to Bimgog. I'll try to reassure him.
All right, well,
but I have to talk with him about it first. So you can start without the body right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be doing preliminary research for at least the next week or so, and
I'll talk to Bimgog.
That's before I even start looking at the sword itself, because once I figure out. If I figure out the shard, I can figure out the gem that's hilted in this sword.
Okay.
The problem is, and he pulls out one last tuning fork and he holds up a glass. He strikes the tuning fork on the table. The problem is artifacts, as you know, are condensed magical power. And my concern is, and he brings the tuning fork over to the glass, if we do this wrong and the glass shatters in his hands, that's never good for a city.
We'll just be very careful.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I like living.
And like maybe talk to the sword too. I don't know if Sprocket can hear you inside of there, but he's a really good artificer, and if he could help you out from the inside at all, like it's totally worth talking to the sword. He might be able to figure something out inside of there.
That sword gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Okay, well, don't talk to the sword, like don't like, but like talk at the sword, like maybe talk to the crystal, maybe like he'll hear it through the magic.
He grabs like a cone and like puts it over the crystal and sticks his ear on it. Sprocket, you see this you see Alex talking to this guy before he takes the cone and he sticks it over the crystal, and you watch his ear appear in it.
Gotta get that voice mod.
Get the fuck away from my jewel! I'm trying to crack this thing!
He looks at you, Alex. I don't hear anything, but I'll keep trying.
Well, maybe it doesn't go back out. He would be very small inside. There'd be a very tiny voice. So just talk at him.
I don't
and
think
he'll
that's how
help.
souls work.
It might. You don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know!
I might have to get a priest involved, an exorcist or something.
Well, at least they would talk to a crystal. They'd understand.
I'm coming for you, Sprocket. We're gonna get you out of there.
I'm gonna get myself out of here! You two-bit hack!
Hajime taught me everything I know. You're
Oh,
gonna
Fuck, I'm
die.
dead!
No, wait, no, don't tell him that. Oh, geez, now it's blown.
Sprocket goes back to inscribing like spells, formula, and blood in the prism space that he's in, trying to crack this fucking code.
Okay, do you want to hang around here? I'm going to
Wait,
be
you
here
said
pretty
something
late.
about a flask?
Oh, yeah. Bartholomew told me that you'd been drinking them out of house and home, and I've been working on it for a while. I got an endless decanter flask.
Yes,
want it?
please.
He tosses it at you.
She absolutely catches it and opens it up, takes a drink, closes it, opens it up again, and then starts giggling maniacally.
It's a full flask. It's not a great bourbon, but it is a bourbon.
Look, at
Well,
least
it's a whiskey,
I don't
not
have to
the
carry
bourbon
around
kind.
all these friggin' bottles anymore. And she just takes 6 empty bottles out of her bag and sets them on his workbench.
And the
Here, in
recycling
case
bin's
you
right
need
over there.
some.
We recycle here. That's how we keep this
I'll
place so green.
recycle the bottles.
Thank you. All right. Well, I'm gonna get to work. You're welcome to hang around, but I mean, you've been on the grounds before. The Royal Guard know who you is. So
Right. Next time we stop by a lab, is it cool though if we bring Bemgog along?
yeah, just
Okay, cool.
Give me a heads up. Send me a message.
For sure. And then Alex will head out and try to find where Bemgog ended up.
Okay. The party for the most part is heading to the inn unless anybody wants to go anywhere else.
Serenia is gonna go to the glade and ask Bimgog if he will escort her because he went last time and everything's a little stressful right now.
Bimgog just nods and just immediately follows.
Serenia
guys-
will, as Bimgog and Serenia walk towards the glade, Serenia will swap to Giant and say, something's wrong. Just go along. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
like just be really careful, because it sure seemed like with the way that the city is kind of changing, and the way that they're kind of preparing, it seems like there's a lot more going on for a city that pretty much is hidden from the world. They seem like they're really got their hackles up. So
Yeah, Bjorno's gonna pull his axe out and draw in the dirt 4 letters. COUP.
Well, right now, Bimgog and Serenia are walking towards the glade.
Oh, I thought we were all going to the end.
No, my apologies. So the two of them set off apart from the party.
Oh, apologies. Sorry.
Get back to that when we get back.
To be completely fair, though, Serenia was talking in Giant and kicked off this conversation not too far from the party. Bjorno does know Giant, and if he would like to kick in on the conversation before we get too far, by all means.
Then I do what I do. And then
But you have to be like, hey guys, so we can look at the ground.
Right. No, I call you back, and then I will kick the letters clear after you read them.
Serenia will respond in common. Bjorno, I'm glad we are all together. This is a hectic night. Bimgog's going to come with me to talk to the druids again, because he has been helping me with the druidic things, but if you can keep track of the other members at the end, we will come back here and be in agreement to make sure we're all taking care of each other.
This is good. I will see you on the morrow. I must take my rest.
Night, Bjorno!
Hi, Bjorno.
Good luck.
And as they're walking off, Serenia will speak in Giant. Druid's leaving.
What?
So, in a way that Bjorno could hear, Bimgog could hear, like, fuck it, maybe there's another problem that could hear, that's beyond my control. But that is the message that Serenia will leave for the party as her and Bimgog go to the glade.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
really weird.
You guys have about a 15-minute walk between the city. It is close to dusk at this point. The streets are somewhat empty. You do come across the occasional bar or restaurant, which still is full of people. You see the occasional city guard patrolling with one of the Gray Maidens. And beyond that, it's peaceful throughout the city. Give me a nature check, both of you. The one thing you do notice is that as far as animal life, it's extremely quiet. The birds aren't singing. There are no stray animals where previously it wouldn't have been uncommon to see a dog or a cat every so often. The animal life is bereft in this area.
So as we are walking, and especially as we are noticing this, Serenia will keep up a just generic conversation with Bimgog of just like, to the outside eye, she has not noticed anything. They're having a nice time. They're having the same sorts of conversations, heading towards the glade. Maybe even telling Bimgog, you really didn't need to come. We're perfect. Like, it's fine, but you can come. Like, I get it. And essentially attempting for the outside eye to not realize that Serenia and Bimgog realize something's weird.
Dave, while, Serenia is acting very, very friendly, which is like overly so. And so I immediately am like, okay, this is like I could tell that hackles are up, which is good. I'm gonna activate primitive awareness to sense
Okay.
for fiends within.
There are no
within
fiends.
No, what was that?
There are no fiends.
Okay. And I mentioned, you know, in the middle of like, yeah, I mean, it's really, really neat that we get to go and work for the queen, and there's totally no fiends here, but it's really cool that we get to go and do all this neat stuff, and I'm really excited to go see the druids again.
Yeah, I mean, a city is a city is a city. I like this city, but I mean, it's Alex's city, so obviously we're gonna do good by it. But be careful, Bimgog. Nowhere's safe. We trust nowhere, Bimgog.
No.
Let's go, the druids.
Let's find the druids.
So, at this point, you guys have reached the glade part of the city, and the first thing you notice is that there is a solitary large tree. Previously, when you'd been here, there was bushes and shrubs, even boulders. Now it seems to be nothing more than a single tree, some small rocks around it, and walking out of the tree, you see one of the druids that you spoke with earlier. I'm glad that you could make it. Were you long set for what you had to? You all worked with the queen, did you not?
Technically, yes. She had asks of all of my companions except for myself. We can speak freely in front of Bimgog here.
Please come in. And they usher you inside, and he pulls out a staff similar to yours and sets it into the ground, and brush grows up quickly in a dome around the glade. And he sets down a small stone which is lit in front of you both. The Enclave has set word out that there's going to be a great moot. Druids from all across the land are meeting to address what has happened with the Drakenhorn. And as you have achieved some rank in regards to the circles, your name was spoken as one who should be there.
Where's the moot being held?
North of Icewind Dale. Far, far from where civilization may pry.
When
But
is
we
the
have
moot being held?
3 days. We have caravans moving, providing travel and portals that other factions are unaware of, tree strides, as it were. But you are the last of the Enclave.
You understand what's happening in the city.
The military has started taking strangely aggressive action. The government has begun to conscript individuals. There is certainly strangeness afoot, but the actions of mortal governments are not necessarily of our concern. We focus on the natural order. This is our way. Are your allegiances torn?
As torn as ever when you spend so much time with the group. The stranger friends, genuinely mean well and the best. Which is why I asked to find what will be happening to this city. I will join the moot. Serena will look at Bimgog. You're going to take my walkie-talkie now. I have the number for this walkie-talkie, and I will contact you again. I need you to have the ability to contact me because I do not know how long this will be.
No, I understand, Serenia, but I'm just...
You, Bimgog, you have seen and heard what is happening. You saw the Queen split everyone up and give them unique tasks. I need you to keep that in mind. I need you to keep everyone safe. Because what we are doing is admirable.
Yeah, but the problem is, Serenia, is I don't feel like I've been keeping anybody safe. That's what my big concern is.
Hey, Bimgog, if I thought that you weren't keeping anyone safe, you would not have just heard the conversation that you just heard.
Bimgog immediately starts rifling through his bags, and he brings out one of the small little toys that he made for the goblins in the Warrens, and he hands it to Serenia, and he basically says,
If you come across any goblins and they cause you any problems, just give them this and tell them it was made by Bimgog, and if they mess with you, tell them I'll find them. Just make sure, because sometimes goblins get a little squirrely, and
he immediately casts Good Berry and shoves all 10 berries into her hands.
And you might get hungry, and I know you could cast this stuff anyways, but I don't want you to get hungry on the journey, so make sure you have these, and, make sure you bring everything so you're prepared.
And he starts trying to rifle through to look for anything else that he can, shove into Serenia's
Bimgog,
hands.
Bimgog!
Yeah?
I appreciate it. You know that I have always sought the path of neutrality, and there have been points that the conversation has been difficult with this group, but ultimately we are all seeking the same result. So
I'll be listening. I'll be listening.
We need to have a hard conversation. Bimgog, the Bagman is real.
I don't think he's not real.
I know. I'm having this conversation again, right? But before, because I have to leave for a while, and I need to impress upon someone.
I will make sure that if we come across another bag, that it gets a lock put on it right away, and I'll try my best to try to watch when they're messing with the bags, because
but Bimgog, I'm about to put a burden on you that I don't want to put on you, but I need to put on you. I need to tell you the phrase to not say, which is to tell you the phrase that you shouldn't know. But if no one And Serenia will follow up in Giant in a completely whispered tone the phrase that should not be said. And Andy, I will text it to you because. So essentially, yeah, Serenia is.
I feel like I'm getting cursed. I feel like I'm getting a bonus curse.
Yes, you are.
God damn it.
The curse of knowledge, though.
That's accurate.
That's fair.
The curse of knowledge, because
You know, people got kicked out of paradise for that, so.
Bimgog, you feel part of your soul just slowly.
Great. Thanks.
Kidding,
Thanks.
kidding.
Thanks. It's fine.
no, Serenia will go to the moot.
You notice the druid who was standing there. Once you start moving towards him, snaps out of somewhat of a trance state, as he wasn't listening to your conversation.
Wait,
Yes.
what's happening with your queen? Why is everything so wrong?
Wrong.
Wrong.
Well, she's not my queen.
The queen, the local queen.
She's doing what the kingdom should be doing, I would imagine. The affairs of men are strange, but they sense a threat to the kingdom, so they are militarizing.
You're right. Let's go.
He puts his hand on the tree, and Bimgog, and Serena, you watch as the surface of the bark becomes soft like water, and he looks back at you, and Serenia says, "We'll get another Rocky Talkie on the way up, so you can reach out to your friend." Reaches into a back pouch, and pulls out a small green glass and brass ornament, and pins it on Bimgog's shirt. So it says Junior Enclave Ranger. And steps through the tree.
Serenia will look back at Bimgog and say, "You have my Rocky Talkie. I have the number memorized. I just need to go and figure out what's..." And Serenia will straight up mid-sentence just go through the tree because she doesn't know what to say. And she's gonna say, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry," as she goes through.
And the tree turns solid, and the brambles and brush fall around and sink back into the ground. And you watch as the leaves on the tree shrivel and turn brown and just begin falling. And that is where we are going to end tonight's campaign. Thank you so much for everyone who joined us. A special thanks to Serenia and Callie, who let me know earlier this week that social obligations and some new work things have become to the point where she won't be able to continue our campaign on Tuesdays. So the Strange Friends will be minus a long and beloved friend. For those of you who don't know, Callie joined the campaign during Curse of Strahd, where she played an NPC that I foisted upon her because I was doing a terrible job role-playing her, and delivered an exceptional performance. We all love Callie very much. She is very important to us, and you are welcome back at our table anytime. Until then, until next week, signing off. Stay safe out there, and we'll be with you again soon. And join us on Thursday.